Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Barter speaking, and a warm welcome to this week's Walking Wednesday. And yeah, another one of those weeks that has been quite something. Not to mention that I don't know if I've entirely recovered or not from the 10-hour ordeal that was the conclusion of Pixel Month. And that was a couple of days ago. Yeah, I don't really know. I took it easy yesterday on purpose because of that. But yeah, also for some other reasons which I'll get to in a second. As for the rest of the week, it was a bit of a trek to finish things off properly. So I'd had the idea to release part 2 of the Mega Pixelmon compilation sometime significantly ago, but I always planned it to come out on April 30th, as it never got to really wrap up. Well, Pixelmon Journey's Adventure never got to really wrap up during Pixel Month itself, because I foolishly, despite the fact that I had exactly enough content for an entire other month of Pixelmon, decided, oh, I'm just not going to withhold these, I'm going to release them in some sort of other, just spew most of them out during the month of March, very carelessly, and then we'll deal with, making the, what was I going to say? Oh, that you want me to make a season 2 during the actual month itself. Yeah, I need to learn to give myself a break from Pixel Month itself. Although it is interesting because I keep trying to shorten the lengths of those videos. It used to be that every episode was 20 minutes long, and then afterwards, due to popular demand from the people involved in season 2, it actually went up to 30. And this time I've shortened it down to 15, because I was like, well, you know, most of the videos I do are super long these days. General YouTube advice says make stuff that is shorter, so let's strike that compromise. I'll do long and short. So yeah, that kind of happened. But at the same time, because of getting sick, because of the work I was doing, because of also going on holiday, it was quite, I don't know, we didn't even record that much this year, like actually physically record too much, and yet 2 new shows premieres, but because of my first Pixelmon being in the backlog and releasing those every other day, that also meant that some of the videos were not 15 minutes long, because they were already predetermined by whatever time I set for myself in 2014 when I was not editing videos. So there you have it. I don't know. It was interesting because, yeah, the most entertaining video was definitely that season 1 of Pixel Month at the end. Mostly because, I mean, I guess I kind of knew which direction it was going in, and because you already got to see, like, the immense progress from the first half, which was definitely much more rough than this one, despite the fact that it's now the longest video I've ever released on YouTube, and might ever release at all on YouTube. I don't really know, it's interesting. But yeah, thanks again for all the people who actually support that. I say it all the time, but it really does mean a lot, because 10 hours is a long commitment. I mean, even I had to fall asleep before the live actually concluded. In fact, I made it to about possibly a little over halfway, and then actually did rewatch the rest of it afterwards. I already edited the videos together, so I already knew that I didn't have to check before uploading, but what I did have to do is render the video out a few times miss out on a couple of lives as a result of it, and also keep my extension drive plugged in at all times. And then, even then, it actually flopped once. I tried to find other versions. I had the 19-hour one already pre-rendered from before. So I was like, okay, could I trim this one up in some other external software, like a browser or something? Turns out no, because it takes forever to even upload to the browser itself, and then by that point you might as well just... At that point I could have just made it into just the YouTube video itself, but of course because YouTube has the hour limit, that's why it's got split in the first place. So I was back to square one. So yeah, I had to re-render like basically everything after that point anyway. And I've run out of 5 years later to do. So yeah, it's almost kind of been like a hard reset. A lot of the stuff that I was committed to sort of ended all at once. And that actually includes the stuff with Denethor. Because that 3-month period that I was employed by him for came to an end on the 1st because he couldn't actually gather enough funds to keep that going. So that journey ended as well at the same time. That's why I was like, okay, you know what, this is going to be a wind down day, and then I will sort out the rest of it afterwards. I have other work that's lined up for me actually, because in fact I actually have a call with someone afterwards today for another thing, just a one-off project, but it's still something, and then also something that's a bit more steady with several other videos to consider and to sift through, which I've been also doing. Did one of those yesterday and did another one before, when I actually managed to, when my computer recovered from the ordeal of rendering that 10-hour video, and I was able to actually open up stuff again, because for a while browsers weren't working or the internet. So yeah, it's been quite hectic recently. And somehow during that time I actually did indeed keep making progress on the scene from the Mutant Girl Season 3. I don't know. It does just make me wonder, because obviously it goes back to, people think that I'm up in my room like all the time. If you know me well enough and have no idea what I'm doing, well, there you go. A lot happens. And it does feel quite bizarre because, yeah, I don't know, it's not a hard reset back to where I was 3 months ago before Denethor came along. But it's going to become a case of, okay, well, what am I going to do to fill that gap now? And actually I have some ideas. Because actually I have the, maybe go back to the actual original plan, or just... Actually, no, maybe I'll go back to the original plan. I'm not going to say what that is. Because then people will ask, and I don't feel like explaining that until I've got something to show. Which actually was also the kind of the same mentality I had with Denethor, because admittedly I didn't tell him that I was sick until after I had something that I could show that I'd still been working on. I feel like that goes down a lot better with people when you actually have something to show them, rather than just present nothing. It usually is like, well, okay, here's at least the thing. That's actually kind of why I ask for people's for whatever they've done. If they end up needing to like leave a Mutant Girl scene or something, I tend to ask them for whatever they've done already. Not only just because I want to know that some progress has been made, but also because I don't want whatever they've done to go to waste. Which is, obviously that backfired significantly with the Williams situation, because that meant that I was actually covering for a lot of stuff that happened in the scene that I couldn't work around, like some of the actual movements that the characters who actually were imported were doing, things like that. That's just sort of luck of the draw at that point. Or, yeah, in my case, lack thereof. I don't know. And then that does catch some people off guard sometimes, where I say, okay, well, you know, how far have you got so far? Even if they don't show a progress report, if I like ask them specifically, because sometimes I'll ask like the editors, oh, how far with this scene have you gotten? And then a few of them will actually just show me right then and there. Other ones will sort of panic, and yeah, it usually tells people, okay, has someone actually been doing the thing or not? I don't know, I've got another progress report to do probably today or something like that. Go back to that swing of things, because we did hire a new editor for the Mutant Girl, and I haven't actually checked out on them in a while. So, yeah. Well, not even just them, just like everyone, because there's a few other outliers. Some have been more active than before, because I myself am making more time in the in that schedule that I had to engage with them and plan for some other ideas and projects, which I'm not going to mention. Yeah, come to think of it, there's still a good amount. There's still a good amount that's going on, and still a amount of gaps to fill. Maybe it's not so bad, because I was feeling kind of anxious about that yesterday. I don't know if anxious is the right word, really. Concerned, possibly. Because, you know, back before Denethor swooped around, I just left university and was looking for work and stuff like that, and then nothing ended up being presented. I wasn't, you know, doing the right steps and stuff like that, all according to different people. And having those progress reports actually was excruciating for me, because I wasn't able to provide anything to show for them. And then, of course, there's the case that I still do miss acting. You know, I got the whole drama degree. I had the bits of the creative writing have been useful. Denethor found my translations entertaining, if they weren't entirely the same as what the original was, but they still enhanced the video. So yeah, who knows? That will be something else to consider. I did say that as soon as I had something stable going on, that I would get back to trying the career that I love in the first place, because I wouldn't have as much of a concern of producing no results. Kind of like Mario in the movie, by the way, interestingly enough. Now he seemed to be, and how his family's told him that, you know, he was even dragging down his brother in the process because of this pipe dream. Of course, that's the joke they should have made, pipe dream. But yeah, so those who've seen the movie, you know which part I mean. The part that actually gives him a bit of character. Like when I was talking to Aiden, actually, and he mentioned that he wanted Mario to have a bit more or something, or anything in general, which I said, no, there was at least something in there. I don't know. That's one other thing we need to do. I want to do more Siskel and Ebert style reviews with Aiden. In case people don't know, it was a while ago. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I don't want to go that way. I don't know if there's a drill going on. Yes, in case people don't actually know, a while ago, Aiden and I used to do these reviews, which were kind of conversational. I mean, Aiden himself started out by doing Minecraft skits, particularly with his characters at that point, I think particularly Gold and Peter, actually, from Hardpoint Family Farm, and well, basically from everything, because he subscribed to the Aphmau method of have these people in different universes and such. But so yeah, basically he had those skits at the beginning, and then he went into talking about, fittingly enough, some Aphmau stuff. Except for his season 6 reactions, which were the same sort of style that I was doing at the time, before we even met. So there was that. That would like to be my next compilation, by the way. All the season 6 reviews as they were, as my thoughts were at the time of upload. I keep debating whether I should do those first or second, but I guess at this point it's gonna be second, because, you know, here I am now, kind of almost on the day. It's 2 days' time. Do I want to risk another major render so quickly after the last one? Probably not. Maybe that'll be after the first 3 episodes thing. Or not, I don't actually know. You know what, I'll think about it. I'll see how long the actual compilation actually is. It's going to be a few hours at least, but not that many, hopefully. I don't know. We got to 3.9 watch hours, at least the rounded up version of that. I think we're about 150, 160 or so away from 4,000 at this point, which does put people in the 3.8 technically, but YouTube itself seems to like to round those up. So yeah. I don't know. It's that process is confusing. Got to make sure that I don't drop off, because actually I said on Discord that I was going to challenge myself to actually complete that and achieve 4,000 watch hours by the end of the month. I mean, we'll see, because as Shani pointed out, the month has just begun, but I mean, that's the point, isn't it? You know, it's that if I was at the incredible final stretch, I would say the end of the week. Now, if there's in a bit more time. But yeah, actually we'll be approaching basically the point that I started out really paid attention to the watch hours. It was around when I had 2.3 actually, and it must have been July when that happened. So yeah, that was when I realized, this is the metric I need to go by. Let's actually, now that I'm out of university, here's one goal that I can set myself, that I can actually constantly push for. And that's another thing. Yes, I want to support myself as well, and I can, relatively now. But for a while, like I said this before, that was what kept me going as like an actual goal to strive for, something that I can actually achieve for myself, and try and once I figured out a path, actually pursue that. And then most of you lot showed up. I mean, I think someone said, BB said it was eerie at one point, that a lot of the people who show up to the channel now, who are attending most if not all the premieres, and are you know, engaging with either me reviewing their own content or someone else's, they actually found the channel after the latest release of the Mutant Girl came out, or at the very least the series proper. I'm not counting remakes in here. That's what's ridiculous. I'd had another discussion about the importance of remakes and stuff, and it kind of got me thinking about Diaries Rebirth as well, because I said before this could have been May or something, or Mario May. I don't know, considering season 6 is coming back. I need more content to catch up with 5 years later. If I want to get that summer buzz again, I can actually use the FMA thing as a reason for it. So I might try and collect some footage today for that too. But yeah, point is, Diaries Rebirth is something that can actually start that out. And I think that, well, obviously Diaries Rebirth was not just a remake, it was a reformat of a lot of the stuff that came before. It's an entirely different structure with a lot of the later plot points that are kept in mind and are used to greater effect. And that seems to be the one that draws the most satisfaction. I feel like even BB, when she says stuff like, I would never remake my own stuff, which of course, her prerogative and everything, but trying to advance with new projects, even BB probably has got to admit at least that Diaries Rebirth was a step in the right direction in regards to what people have come to expect from AFMAL. I just don't think there was any problem with the format of the old Minecraft roleplays, particularly, you know, the first person talking to just NPCs, especially because AFMAL already was innovating by having the NPC dialogue pre-programmed, actually giving them different characters going forward and achieving sentience. But you know what? We'll see more of that in a second. I'm going to wrap this up now. I've got a work call to get to, so please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters, as we haven't done so already. And on that note, until next time, farewell.